usually helps if you can get your bag open. I'm Kelsey and welcome back to Never Growing Up. I'm a bit of a Billy No Mates today. John's unfortunately feeling a little bit under the weather, so I thought this would be a good opportunity for me to sit down with you guys and talk to you about what is in my Disney bag. Now I'm going to start with a bit of a disclaimer because you can see that this is kind of a small bag, and this is one that I definitely use walking around the parks. It's a good daily bag. However, I take a lot more into the parks than what fits in this little bag here. So it's kind of more of a what I take to Disney video, both using my bag and my boyfriend's bag as well. So let's get started. So first things first, this is a bag that I've had for a few years. I found that it's perfect just for a day in the parks. You can fit most things in, and we'll come to that. But as you can see, it's just like a little crossbody, which I find really practical to carry around. I don't have to take it off my person if I'm going on a ride or anything like that. You might notice I have my magic band on here. So sometimes I wear my magic band, sometimes I don't, either if it's feeling a bit uncomfortable or perhaps it doesn't go with my outfit that day. And I just loop it onto the strap here, and it means that I can just grab it from my side, tap it if I've got a fast pass or something, and go from there. I also have my sunglasses on the front here. Usually I will have these on. I wear sunglasses a lot. There are a few pairs that I kind of alternate between, but if I don't want to wear them, usually I've got some form of ears on my head, so I'll just loop them into the front of my purse like this. And then I don't really keep anything in this front pocket here. It's kind of shallow. You can also see my bag is pretty full, so it doesn't leave a lot of room in the front. But I do have my Ellie in here, which I love. Obviously this is my adventure bag, so let's have a look at what's inside. Okay. So, first things first, my phone. Now, our last trip, we were vlogging through most of it, so we did use our camera, which I'm filming on at the moment, to video. My phone is what we took the majority of our pictures on. So, if you've seen our Instagram, Never Growing Up, most of the photos from there were taken on my iPhone 6, I think this is. And we Instagram a little bit throughout the day, not too much, but we usually save that till afterwards, so this is really important for the picture taking. Also for the My Disney Experience app, obviously if you're booking fast passes or you have reservations, this is a really good tool to have at your disposal. Now, last time we went, the Disney internet wasn't working as well as I've seen it work in the past. So one thing I recommend doing, and that I will be doing from now on, is just screenshotting your schedule from the app before you leave the resort, and that way if you can't remember when your next fast pass is and you can't log onto the app, then you've got it stored in your camera roll, so keep that in mind. We are the type of people where we love to plan for sure, but we also like to live a little bit spontaneously as well, I think, because we've done the park so many times that we kind of just like to go with the flow sometimes and do it a little bit more chill. So obviously that app can help us if we decide we want to do a ride, just to check the wait times as well and see if it's worth heading over to Space Mountain before we get there and realise it's like a 90-minute queue or something. So that app, very important. So that's my phone. On from there, in my bag, what do we have? So just a little body spray, just in case you want to freshen up. Obviously Florida heat, very, very hot in Florida, so it is nice just to kind of spritz and feel a little bit freshened up. I have a charger. So we use these portable ones. We usually take a couple of these. I'll carry one, John will take another, and then we just take the corresponding leads for our iPhones and our camera and any other electronics that we want to take with us that day. I have, of course, my wallet or my purse. This is just a really small kind of card holder one that's from Forever 21. It's one of the smallest ones I've found, but it's really good for just keeping my debit card, credit card, any Disney passes that I have, and then in the middle, if I'm carrying cash, then I can just keep that in the middle there too. So then I have my ID. I wouldn't recommend taking your passport around with you. It's probably not the safest option. I'm kind of limited in my IDs, so I have my passport. I do take it everywhere. I wouldn't recommend it. But as well, you just never know if you're gonna want to grab a drink at one of the resorts or even in some of the restaurants now in Magic Kingdom and the other parks. Then it's good to have. I know some places are quite stringent on what IDs they accept as well. So at least with the passport, you can kind of be sure that it's going to be accepted everywhere. So there you go, there's my passport, a delightful photo of me from about 7 years ago. So then I have in here some argan oil for my hair. So whilst the humidity isn't a huge problem for me, my hair is thick and wavy and it can really get knotty and messy, and so a little bit of argan oil goes a long way in terms of just smoothing it out, which brings me to hair ties. There are just some days where there is absolutely no fixing what's going on here, so I've got 3 or 4 of these in my bag just in case it needs to go up in a ponytail or a messy bun or whatever. Then I have to take a lip balm everywhere I go. Because I wear a lip stain to the parks most of the time, I don't tend to top that up very often. It's got a lot of stain power, so just to make sure that my lips aren't dry, I use this Smith's Minted Rose Lip Balm, which I get quite regularly from Sephora as and when I need to. So I just make sure I have this at my disposal at all times, just to make sure that my lips are nice and smooth and hydrated. Works a treat. And then in terms of makeup, I do rely quite heavily on setting powder for my concealer and setting spray once my full face is done. I do get up a little bit earlier in the morning to make sure that my makeup is photo ready, so that I've got my princess makeup all done. So I don't really want to have to worry about topping it up throughout the day. And you know, it is true, my makeup is not going to look the way that it does in the morning by last thing at night, but that's fine. I usually find that with the setting spray and everything, it does a good enough job. So in terms of makeup that I do take with me, I'll usually take a liquid eyeliner if I put it on in the morning. Usually that's the one thing that I find needs to be topped off. And then mascara as well, just in case, you know, it needs a little bit of a top up too. If you are interested in the products that I use, I will link the packing video that I did down below in the description box. I'll also leave a thumbnail to the video in the end slate as well, which will be clickable just in case you wanted to see what I use. And then like I said, I do tend to rely on lip stains, so I'll usually take one just in case it needs a bit of topping up, but I usually find they will last me pretty much throughout the day. And then I can just top it up with a lip liner, which I would carry around with me as well. And then that's about it for this bag. I mean, you're not going to fit much more in this one, unfortunately. So that's when it comes in handy to have a bit of a travel buddy to, you know, be kind enough to carry the bigger bag and carry it around for you. So this is John's Disney bag, a little bit of a size difference, but he does like to be a bit of a dad when it comes to carrying stuff around the parks and everything too. So he usually does have the camera, which is what I'm filming on today. So as I mentioned before, we have the Canon XS710HS, which we bought ready for our last trip, which was the first one that we were videoing on, and we love it. We think it's a great kind of point and shoot, really, really simple to use. The zoom is great, and you know, everything seems to have turned out pretty good from our use of it so far, so I'd recommend. So that's one thing in that bag. And then with that camera, we do tend to take a couple of extra batteries just in case they run out, so a couple of extra batteries. And then this little sort of box or book here is just really, really good for taking some extra memory cards, and we probably don't need as many as we have in here, but always handy to have. And then what else do we have in here? I've packed some deodorant in John's bag, again just in case you want to freshen up. I have my hairbrush. This is one of the Tangle Teaser hairbrushes. Again, like I said, this can really become a bit of a hot, matted, knotty mess throughout the day, so it is good to have. And unfortunately, because of the size of this one, it doesn't fit so well in my little doonie, so thank you, John, for carrying that around for me. Water bottle. Obviously so important to hydrate in the Florida heat, and especially for someone like me, I don't actually cope that well with the heat, so a little bit of water I find is important to have. We'll either take one of these plastic water bottles, and do make sure it's plastic because the Disney parks don't allow glass, or another thing that we quite often do is stop at one of the gas stations around Disney before we actually go in and pick up a big sort of crate of water, and then we find that we've got that there for the resorts in case we want a drink in the evenings or in the mornings, and we can take a couple of bottles with us as well. And then throughout the day, you know, you are able to just pick up an ice water from any quick service location that has a soda fountain. They will give you an ice water for free. So if this gets a little bit warm or you run out and you're not close to a water fountain or anything, just feel free to wander on into one of those quick service locations and ask for an ice water. You know, they're happy to help. With that in mind, the other thing that we like to take is a couple of granola bars. These are just Nature Valley granola bars from a grocery store. We usually like to take a couple of these, particularly for in the morning before we kind of have our real Disney sweet tooth on. These are just a great thing to have to snack on if you're sort of in between meals, or you're looking for a slightly healthier option than Disney has to offer around you at that time. And don't get me wrong, we love Disney snacks, Dole Whips, the iced lemonades, churros if we're in Disneyland, cotton candy. I'm like the world's biggest child when it comes to sweet things, but you know, every so often it's nice to kind of swap it out and be like, I'm gonna be healthy for a moment. So yeah, a couple of granola bars. And then I will either take a sweater. So this is my Disneyland classic Mickey sweater, or I will take my denim jacket, which is my Zara one, which I absolutely love. So one of those two, because Florida does get a little bit chilly, particularly in the evenings. If you're going spring or fall or winter, I'd say definitely take a jacket for the evenings because it can cool down quite quickly. If you're going in the summer, then you might want to consider swapping these out for a rain jacket or poncho or something like that, because it's gonna rain. It will get to like 3 o'clock, it will rain for a little while, and then it will dry and we won't need it anymore, so at least those wrap up really small. And that's about it. So as I say, I tend to pack a little bit on the lighter side as much as I can, and then I am lucky to have my travel buddy to carry anything extra that I want to take with me. There are so many nice Disney related backpacks now. Dooney and Burke obviously have one. I saw that JanSport are coming out with a new collection. There's obviously the Vera Bradley ones that you can get in the parks as well. There are so many different types where you could probably fit all of the stuff in that I've showed you. But this is just how we did it last trip. It's probably how we'll do it for now. So yeah, that was what I take in my Disney bag. If you have any questions, please do feel free to leave a comment down below. Like I said, I will be linking my packing video into the end slate and into the description box as well. So if you are interested in the other things that I pack and the products that I take with me, then feel free to check that out. So thank you for tuning in. We put out new videos every Sunday. In the meantime, if you are interested in checking us out on Instagram, you can find us at Never Never Growing Up. We are on Facebook too at Never Never Growing Up as well, and Twitter at PiratesDixiePan. If you did enjoy this video, please like and subscribe to our channel, and we will see you next time. Bye! Guys, don't forget your sunscreen. I mean, I just forgot it. Don't forget it. Especially if you're anywhere near as fair as me, you're gonna need that, and you're gonna need to top it up throughout the day. So don't forget your sunscreen.